Imagine a narrow strip of land surrounded by impassable mountains, where the fate of an entire civilization would be decided in just 3 days. In the background, the sound of clashing swords, war cries echoing through the cliffs, and the rhythmic pounding of waves against the rocks. The year was 480 BC, and 300 Spartans, led by King Leonidas, stood against the most powerful empire of the time, Persia. But this is not just a story of war. It's a tale of courage, sacrifice, and how the decision of a small group of men shaped the course of human history. Get ready to uncover the secrets of the Battle of Thermopylae, one of the most iconic events of all time. This is the spectrum of history. To grasp the magnitude of what happened at Thermopylae, it's essential to understand the setting. Greece at the time wasn't a unified nation, but a mosaic of city-states often at odds with one another. Sparta, renowned for its unmatched military discipline, and Athens, famous for its culture and democratic innovations, were just two of many poleis. Meanwhile, Persia, under the rule of Xerxes I, sought to expand its vast empire. The goal was clear: to conquer Greece and crush any resistance to Persian dominance. The Persian king had amassed a colossal army, estimated by some to number in the hundreds of thousands, fueled by a desire for vengeance. The Greeks had humiliated Xerxes' father, Darius I, at the Battle of Marathon. On the other hand, the unity among the Greek city-states was fragile. Yet the looming Persian invasion forced an unlikely coalition, led by Sparta and Athens. The choice of Thermopylae as the battlefield was no accident. The name means hot gates, a nod to the natural hot springs in the area. This narrow pass was a vital strategic point. On one side, steep cliffs, on the other, the sea. A small number of soldiers could block the way, neutralizing Persia's overwhelming numerical advantage. Leonidas knew this, and it's here that the legend was born. Leonidas did not bring the entire Spartan army to Thermopylae. According to tradition, he led only 300 warriors, but they weren't alone. Allied forces from other Greek city-states joined them, bringing their numbers to around 7,000. They all knew they were up against a crushing force, but for them, resisting was not merely a military strategy, it was a matter of honor. When the Persian army finally arrived at the pass, Xerxes believed his sheer presence would intimidate the Greeks into submission. He sent an emissary with an offer: surrender and live. Leonidas's reply was short and immortalized in history: Molon Labe, come and take them. On the first day, the Greeks maximized their advantageous position. The Persians, accustomed to fighting on open plains, were forced into a narrow corridor where their numbers meant little. Leonidas and his men, trained for war since childhood, formed an impenetrable wall of shields. Persian losses were severe, and Xerxes quickly realized that his victory would not come as easily as he'd hoped. On the second day, the situation remained unchanged. The Persians attacked again, only to be slaughtered once more in the bottleneck. Xerxes grew furious and desperate. It was then that a Greek trader named Ephialtes came forward. A shepherd by trade, he revealed the existence of a hidden trail through the mountains that would allow the Persians to outflank the Greek defenders. This single act of betrayal would alter the course of the battle. With this knowledge, Xerxes dispatched his elite troops, known as the Immortals, to encircle the Greeks. When Leonidas learned of the betrayal, he knew defeat was inevitable. He ordered most of his forces to withdraw, choosing to remain behind with his 300 Spartans and a handful of allies to fight to the death. On the third day, the Greeks' position was surrounded. Leonidas and his men faced certain death, but they met their fate with unshakable courage. Spears shattered, swords broke, yet the Spartans continued to fight with their bare hands. By the time the final Spartan fell, the pass was littered with bodies, Persian and Greek alike. The deaths of Leonidas and his men were not in vain. Their defiance inspired the Greek city-states to rally together against the invaders. Months later, the Persians would suffer crushing defeats at the battles of Salamis and Plataea, ending their ambitions of conquering Greece. The Battle of Thermopylae was not just a clash of armies. It was a struggle between two ideals: freedom on one side, submission on the other. The 300 Spartans became the ultimate symbol of courage and sacrifice. inspiring generations in moments of crisis. For Xerxes, the victory was hollow. He had crushed the Spartans physically but failed to break the Greek spirit. Thermopylae proved that even a small group of men, united by an ideal, could challenge the mightiest empires. And that's why, thousands of years later, we still tell this story. The Battle of Thermopylae wasn't just a historical event. It was a defining moment that reshaped our understanding of bravery, honor, and sacrifice. It reminds us that heroes aren't defined by victory alone, but by their willingness to stand and fight for what they believe in, even against impossible odds. So, as we hear the distant echoes of shattered spears and war cries, we're left with one question. What would we be willing to sacrifice for our freedom? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories. Until next time.